Who is the father of Indian Revolution? The options are Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Jawaharlal Nehru. The British colonial authorities called Bal Gangadhar Tilak as the father of Indian unrest, and Jawaharlal Nehru called him as the father of Indian Revolution. Who is regarded as the patron saint of modern India? The options are Aurobindo, Swami Vivekananda, Dayanand Saraswati. With Swamiji's leadership, the Ramakrishna Mission played an important role during the 1899 plague epidemic in Calcutta. Subhash Chandra Bose, from the very beginning of his youth, was tremendously influenced by the lives and works of Swami Vivekananda. He described Swami Vivekananda as the spiritual father of the modern nationalist movement. Who was the first Indian to receive a Nobel Prize? The options are Abhijit Banerjee, Rabindranath Tagore, Amartya Sen. Rabindranath Tagore was the first Indian to get a Nobel Prize in 1913 for his work in literature. Due to which incident did Gandhiji called off non-cooperation movement? The options are Chauri Chaura incident, Sanders assassination, Black Hole tragedy. The Chauri Chaura incident took place on 4th February 1922 at Chauri Chaura in the Gorakhpur district. A large group of protesters participating in the non-cooperation movement were fired by the police. In retaliation, the protesters attacked and set fire to the police station. This incident led to the death of 22 policemen. Gandhiji, who was strictly against violence, called off the non-cooperation movement. Who introduced subsidiary alliance? The options are Wellesley, Joseph Francois Dupleix, Cornwallis. Subsidiary alliance system was first introduced by the French East India Company governor Joseph Francois Dupleix. It was later used by Lord Wellesley, who was the Governor General of British India. Indian ruler entering into subsidiary alliance had to accept British forces in his territory and also had to agree to pay for their maintenance. Such a ruler would not form an alliance with any other power, nor would he declare war against any other power without the permission of the British. Who is known as the mother of Indian Revolution? The options are Preetilata Vaddedar, Bina Das, Bhikaji Kama. Bhikaji Kama raised the Indian flag in Stuttgart, Germany on August 22, 1907, becoming the first Indian to do so on foreign soil. She called for human rights, equality, and independence from British authority. Who was the women's wing leader of the Indian National Army? The options are Lakshmi Sehgal, Nayantara Sehgal, Geeta Sehgal. Lakshmi Sehgal was a revolutionary of the Indian independence movement, an officer of the Indian National Army, and the Minister of Women's Affairs in the Azad Hind government. Which among the following act was imposed for strict censorship on all kinds of publication? The options are Newspaper Act 1928, Newspaper Act 1910, Newspaper Act 1853. In 1910, the Newspaper Act was enacted to curb nationalistic tendencies, and it gave the power to the government to confiscate press property which published objectionable articles against the government. The 2 decades of increasing influence of journals such as Bande Mataram in Bengal and similar journals emerging in the United Provinces led to a strict government censorship under the Press Act 1910. Which province was the first victim of the subsidiary alliance? The options are Hyderabad, Bengal, Punjab. The Nizam of Hyderabad was the first victim of this policy. In the year 1798, the English detached the Nizam from the French influence and also forbade them from having any alliances with other kingdoms without British consent. Who was the first British explorer to reach India? The options are James Lancaster, John Mendenhall, Thomas Roe. John Mendenhall was a British explorer and adventurer and one of the first to make an overland journey to India. John Mendenhall reached the court of the Mughal Emperor Akbar and held discussions with him. But since John Mendenhall was not sponsored by the East India Company, his achievement wasn't considered in those times.
Watch out our next video and also do explore our other playlist.